Charles Hoskinson and the XRP team, they're teaming up. And I thought I would never live to see that day. Now this story has everything: rivalry, a secret meeting, and a twist that no one saw coming. So the other day, I'm doom scrolling through crypto news and nearly spit out my coffee once again. One of our community members on Discord, you know, the free educational Discord that we run, shoots me a message. Dude, check this out. Hoskinson is talking about partnering with XRP. Now, at first I'm thinking, nah, there's no way. That's like saying cats and dogs are forming an alliance. But curiosity got the best of me. I fell right down the rabbit hole, and oh boy, was it worth it. Right, stick around here, because by the end of this, you're going to see why this unlikely crypto team up might actually be changing the game for everyone. All right, let's set the stage then. Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, the ADA guy, decided to do a surprise AMA on August 22nd. Now, Charles doesn't do boring, right? During this Ask Me Anything, he casually drops that he's been, I guess, hobnobbing at the round table with some of the kind of biggest names in crypto, right? Picture this: you've got Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, aka Mr. XRP himself. You've got 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗱 from Solana, right? You've got Sergey and you're from Chainlink, and you've got, you know, Lila from Near Protocol, all, you know, chilling at the same table with Charles. It's kind of like the Avengers of crypto having a coffee together. And you can imagine the conversation, right? They were basically probably trading war stories about the SEC or laughing about the latest meme coin drama while plotting the future of blockchain. Now, all they needed was Vitalik from Ethereum to complete the set. Am I right, or is Vitalik more like Loki in this scenario? I'm going to say he's more like Loki, a bit of a trickster. Why were they all meeting then? Well, apparently to brainstorm how to get along and make their blockchains, well, let's just say, play nice. Now, Charles has been beating the drum for more collaborations in the crypto world since last year, basically saying, hey, we're all building cool stuff. Why not team up, and instead of trying to tear each other down? In a space known for tribalism and pretty, at least kind of petty kind of Twitter feeds and feuds, if I can talk, seeing top projects actually kind of huddling together and huddling up is almost utopian then. And honestly, after the year that we've had in crypto, a little teamwork sounds like a bit of fresh air. So here's where things get spicy. Hoskinson revealed that he had a great conversation with Brad Garlinghouse, the Ripple CEO. And yes, you heard that right. The Cardano chief and the head of XRP actually sat down and talked about, drumroll, potential partnerships in the XRP ecosystem. I practically did a double take to kind of reading that, right? These two weren't exactly besties in the past. In fact, not that long ago, Charles was publicly beefing with the XRP community. Right? We're talking full-on Twitter war, right? People were, you know, there were accusations of harassment, conspiracies, and Charles saying he was done with the XRP army. It was an absolute mess. So hearing that he and Brad not only kind of talked, but had a great chat about working together, kind of felt like seeing Batman and the Joker grab lunch together. Totally surreal. And Charles didn't stop at small talk either. He spilled that he is actually lining up some real initiatives for XRP. The first one that made my jaw drop was Cardano's official wallet, Lace, which is going to support XRP. And yeah, by the end of this year, if all goes well, you might be able to store XRP, send and receive XRP using Cardano's Lace wallet. Now, Lace is a light wallet that's built for Cardano and other assets. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife wallet aiming to go multi-chain, right? They already got Bitcoin working on it, and XRP is next on the menu. Now, Charles first hinted at adding XRP to Lace back in April, but he was cagey on timing. During the AMA, he clarified that the rollout will definitely be done by the end of 2025 at the latest. So worst case, we're waiting a little bit over a few months, but it could be a little bit sooner. Now, I'm impatient, I know. Crypto people, we want everything yesterday, but hey, right, I'll cut him some slack here. Integrating another blockchain's coin into your wallet isn't exactly a walk in the park. Still, just knowing that it's coming is a huge deal. So imagine telling an XRP diehard 2 years ago that the official Cardano wallet would actually support XRP. They would probably have laughed you out of the room. Now, it's actually on the horizon. Now, before I kind of go any further here down this rabbit hole, let me kind of drop something rather important and real quick. This one might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all of the money that you invest. It's always important to do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your responsibility and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video today is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Alright, that's a disclaimer all done to the side. Let's get back to the good stuff. Right, another wild idea that Hoskinson threw out there was a joint Cardano XRP event. He said he'd love to organize a meetup or conference with people on that side, meaning that the XRP side of things. He even name-dropped John Deaton, yes, the pro-XRP lawyer, who's basically a rock star in the XRP community for fighting the good fight during the Ripple versus SEC saga. Now, Charles wants to get Deaton and other big names all in one room with Cardano people and just, I don't know, sing some kind of, campfire song or something like that. Maybe, okay, not literally singing, but you kind of get the idea here, right? Believe it or not, Deaton responded almost immediately saying that he would be, at least it would be an honor to actually be there. So here's in. And reading that, I'm like, wow, this is really happening. If that event goes down, and I really hope it does, it's going to be like the Comic Con of crypto collaborations. They might as well call it the Crypto Unity Summit 2025 or something like that. Think about it this way, Cardano fans and XRP fans actually hanging out together, listening to their heroes on stage, maybe even high-fiving instead of trolling each other online. Is some 2025 level kind of character development, considering these communities were at least at each other's throats not that long ago. So let's just rewind for a second here for some context, because between 2022 and 2024, the Cardano and XRP communities were basically oil and water. They did not mix well, right? There was kind of beef over everything, right? Charles made a comment about an XRP conspiracy theory and the XRP crowd went nuclear on him. Then Charles got defensive and maybe said a few things that he shouldn't have, and it just kind of escalated. By last year though, Charles extended an olive branch and said, all right, enough is enough, let's bury the hatchet, right? He made good on it too. One of the coolest olive branch's moves, right? He actually opened up something called the Midnight airdrop to XRP holders. Now, Midnight is this new privacy-focused sidechain in the Cardano ecosystem. Think of it as Cardano's attempt at doing what Monero or Zcash do, but within their own little universe, with a token called Night. And when they set it up, set up an airdrop for Midnight, Charles and the team said, hey, XRP holders, you can have some Night tokens too. Right? They basically identified about 2.2 million XRP wallets that qualified and, set aside 2.623 billion Night tokens just for those guys. So for perspective here, that's out of 24 billion total supply. So yeah, if you hold and held XRP, you might have gotten a slice of this new Cardano ecosystem, at least this token, completely for free. That's huge, and it caught a lot of people off guard in a really good way, right? Even some hardcore XRP supporters had to tip their hat to Charles for that one. Now, it was a bit of a classy move to kind of mend fences, if you ask me. And apparently, a lot of people jumped on that too. Hoskinson said that over 70,000 users across 8 different blockchains have already claimed about 1.6 billion Night tokens so far. He didn't say how many of those were XRP holders in particular, but I wouldn't be surprised if a good chunk were. I mean, free tokens, right? Who's going to say no to free tokens? Now, I might or might not have made sure to check if I qualified. Spoiler, I did, and you bet that I claimed mine. Never leaving freebies on the table. That's like rule number 1 in the crypto world. Now, here's where I think the story gets really interesting though. To further kind of solidify this newfound friendship, Hoskinson is setting up a dedicated XRP team inside Midnight Project, basically a group within his organization that focused on making the Cardano XRP integration a reality, especially on the commercial side. So what does that really mean exactly? Well, I don't have the official blueprint, but it could mean that they're working on tools or services that let businesses leverage both Cardano and XRP technology together. Or maybe they'll actually build bridges between Cardano's blockchain and the XRP ledger so that assets can flow between them smoothly. Whatever it is and whatever it entails, it signals that this isn't just for show. Charles is investing resources to making this partnership concrete. Now, I have to admit, as someone who's been in crypto for a while, this whole thing is both weird and wonderful to watch. It's weird because, honestly, who saw this coming? Wonderful because, well, positivity and cooperation in crypto are rarer than a moon landing. Usually, we see projects throwing shade at each other, and here we have a 180-degree turn. Charles went from basically being the kind of persona non grata in the kind of XRP world to possibly being a kind of guest of honor at the XRP event. Now, and controversially, XRP people who kind of used to roast Cardano might soon be kind of downloading Cardano wallets to hold their XRP. Bizarre times, my friends, bizarre times. So, what are the takeaway then for us regular people? Well, for one, it's a reminder that crypto doesn't have to kind of be a sum-zero kind of game or a zero-sum game. I mean, it is, and it isn't. It is in the way that you always have to have fresh capital coming in. There's no money magically made overnight, right? It's only ever transferred. So it is sum-zero, but it's not zero-sum in terms of blockchains anymore, all right? And Cardano and XRP are very different with projects with different tech and different communities, but that doesn't mean that they can't actually complement each other. Maybe, right, you're an ADA holder who's curious about XRP now, right? Or an XRP holder who's now actually thinking, Cardano is not so bad. If these networks start interoperating, it could actually make life a lot easier for everyone. Just imagine doing something on Cardano and seamlessly using XRP for payments. Or, for example, maybe that's a kind of a dream behind all of this collaboration talk, right? And hey, if Cardano and XRP can play nice, who's to say that other rivals can't as well? One day we might even see Ethereum and Solana kind of bro-hug it out. Now, I know that some of you are probably wondering, does this mean that ADA and XRP are going to the moon holding hands? Well, let's not get carried away with ourselves, right? Crypto markets are weird, right? And by the end, or at least they're driven, I should say, by millions of different factors by the end of the day, or at least at the end of the day. This partnership vibe is awesome for sure, right, for the ecosystem, but I'm not here to kind of make any price predictions about it, right? You know the drill. No one really knows, and I'm not about to throw any numbers out there just for shits and giggles. Plus, remember, right, that disclaimer that I gave you earlier, yeah, I meant it. Personally, I'm just happy to see less drama and more building, right? If any price action comes out of it, cool. But if not, then I'm still better tech and maybe even a nicer community experience at the end of the day. Now, speaking of community, if you're exploring all the crypto stuff, like this, whether it's Cardano's latest upgrades or, hidden gems on XRP's ledger, you should probably totally join our community on the Discord. It's completely free, it's educational, and it's full of people who live and breathe all of this stuff. We've caught wind of this Hoskinson XRP story early on in the Discord, and trust me, the discussions there were on fire. Now, if you don't want to join, then just be prepared to miss on out. Also, here's a quick shout out. If you're trading crypto and you want to support us here and what we do here, then I recommend checking out the Blowfin exchange. I use Blowfin for some of my trades because, fees are low and it's pretty reliable. And yes, I have an affiliate link for Blowfin, and if you do use it, sign up and trade via Blowfin, it actually helps support the channel here at no extra cost for yourself. That's full disclosure for you. Just make sure that you know what you're doing, because crypto trading is basically like juggling chainsaws while riding a unicycle. It's exciting, but it's sure risky. Now, I've got to say, this whole saga has me feeling hopeful about crypto once again. If a big personality like Charles Hoskinson can patch things up with the XRP community and actually build bridges, literally and figuratively, then maybe there's hope for a more united crypto world. Now, we spend so much of our time arguing on Twitter, it's kind of refreshing to see leaders shaking hands instead of throwing shade at each other. So guys, if you found this little update useful and informative, make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button for more, and I'll catch you all in the next one.